been a full day of delicious treats here at the Quake Pro League, but we have one more course. Gentlemen, I am 40 Lions, joined by the one and only ZSX and DJ Wheat. vengeurR versus Av3k. What a matchup.
So good.
So good.
I don't even know where to begin with this one. Av3k, number 1 seed right now, currently in the leaderboards. vengeurR rocking number 3. I feel like this one is going to be one for the ages. It should be fantastic. Dan, just based on the players and their performances, what do you think before we even get anywhere near pick bans?
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're.
I'm really just putting the nails to it. The screws are to you right now.
I think the two players I would probably pick at this point outside the hang that are really now on the top of their game. They've just been looking so, particularly Av3k. I'm so impressed with the way Av3k's been playing in terms of everything. There's no weak part of his game at the moment, so it's going to be incredibly exciting. And I think there's a really nice clash of styles here. Now Av3k will really want to put his front foot forward, where vengeur's quite happy to soak that pressure up, but also in a proactive way. So that's going to be a good little strategical treat for us to digest as well.
Wheat, how about you?
This is like having sort of two family members in QPL, and like they're about to go up against one another, right? Like I don't know who to. I mean, listen, we're casters. We're never biased. But seriously, if I put myself in the fan shoes, this is a tough pick, right? vengeurR has really been impressing us all here in stage 2. And I mean, granted, he has been over time, but I kind of feel like stage 2 is where he has sort of found his own, and he is sort of evolving into whatever the next stage of Pokemon that he is going to end up being, where Av3k is already, right? He's already a freaking Blastoise and is just like, we want him to just, destroy all the fire-based Pokemons that are out there with the powers that he has. So seeing Av3k play the way that he's been playing has been phenomenal. A lot more consistency. You could see it in his interviews. vengeurR, on the other hand, just this rising star continuing to rise. I don't know where I put this. I mean, I just want to be completely blown away, jaw on the floor, the whole matchup. I feel like that's all I want out of this. So I don't know what to say.
I completely agree. As a spectator, you want it to go all 3 every time and be close, but it was a little unfair of me to ask that. So let's take a look at the pick bans and maybe paint a better picture of what we have in store. vengeurR and Av3k for the last match of the day. As we take a look, Corrupted Keep, Runes of Sarnath, and Exile. We got Doom versus Eisen, Anarchy versus Ranger, and Strogg versus Keel.
Interesting. vengeurR gets his Doom on Corrupted, so he'll be very happy, but equally Av3k just loves to pick Eisen. He just loves to play with that champion, and he uses it really well, so that's going to be quite interesting. Ruins as well, we've seen Anarchy come towards them kind of top of the meta now as the favored pick there, and vengeurR gets that. I know, having spoken to him recently, how much he enjoys playing Anarchy on that map. He doesn't really know why, but it gives him the speed, it gives him the inject, and he's using it well. But Av3k has a really good Ranger. We've seen Ranger versus Anarchy on that map go back and forth, and who actually can wins it. So I'm excited to see Av3k's creativity with the Ranger, since he's one of the players that uses it very well. And in Exile, we've got Keel, which is a bit unusual, up against the Strogg. I think I've seen Av3k play a bit more Keel recently in some more strange situations, but he always finds a way to make it work. Plays it. Seems like he plays it faster than anyone else. I don't know if he's got a speed hack or something, but it's incredible. And yeah, the Strogg on vengeurR, he loves that champion, so another good pick.
Yeah. I mean, I love Keel regardless of the map, but I feel like specifically on Exile, raining down pineapples onto the heavy could cause a lot of havoc for vengeurR, but we'll see exactly how he plays. Wheat, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to say something very similar, is that we haven't really found too many situations where Keel, from the point you're just making, right, from a defensive and offensive perspective, where Keel is just like really strong. I'm also trying to sort of process and simulate this game in my head, and I don't know how that game 3 turns out. I do think we've got an interesting map selection as well as champion picks here to make for a good game or a good series, but again, it's hard to call.
It is going to be a very, very close one to call. But if you had to, Weed, if you absolutely had to, what do you got? You have to choose one of your children.
Papa Weed.
Yep.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm looking at. I kind of feel like vengeurR. I see him on definitely taking map 1. s- I, I I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Av3k 2-1. I think it's gonna be vengeurR Av3k.
Okay.
That's
Even got
hard.
Dan?
That's hard to say.
Even
Now,
got
Dan
map
has a little
choices
bit more
now.
insight because you've been demo reviewing with vengeurR, so you kind of know exactly how he approaches the game. But what do you think about this, Dan?
I still think I think it's gonna be 2-1 as well, but I'm actually gonna side with vengeurR for this one. I think Av3k might play into his hands a little bit with his aggression, and he'll edge it.
All right. I don't know. I abstain. No, I would probably. I don't want to break the tie. I'm actually going to go with Av3k as well. I'm going to go 2-1. It's not. There's no way. I don't see a world where it's a clean sweep. I would be absolutely mind blown if either player was able to go 3-0. I think 2-1 Av3k, but it's going to be very close. Whether the maps go the way Wheat said, I'm not really sure. I just feel like 2-1 makes the most sense.
I'm gonna say vengeurR Av3k vengeurR because I just have to match Wheat with his map picks, you know.
All right. Well, I think
Sick.
that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think I deserve a break. So I'm gonna yank
do.
myself out of here, let you guys get some alone time. But I trust you. Have fun with it, and I'll see you on the other side.
All right, Bunny. Enjoy that cheesecake. Peace. I could smell it through our comm system. How's it going, Dan?
Really good, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Honestly, this is this one definitely one of the hardest to call, but also just exciting, right? If we are starting to see what the potential of the finals is going to be to wrap up stage 2, we're in for a treat. You know, dare I say, we'll go out here, but I don't think Rafa's going to have the same walk that he's had the last 2 finals that we've had. So.
I feel what, like you and I, we have this conversation every 3 or 4 months. We go, you know, Quake has never been better. Rafa can't do it again. Is literally what we said in Christmas and in the summer, and then he does it anyway. But
yeah,
it feels ever so true every time we get here, where everyone seems to be raising the bar. And you said it. I think it was in the last series that the amount of sets now we get that are separated by a single frag, a single moment. It's just even the last series, yes, it was 10-2, but it was separated by that one moment. It should have been 3-2, and it just shows every single game these players are so well matched that it's incredible. So I'm hoping to see the same in this series as well.
Well, we're about to get started. First, kicking things off on Corrupted Keep, and this is certainly going to set the pace for the whole entire game. And I'm just I can't wait to even interview whoever wins this one, just because it's going to be a big moment. Definitely in the position to either hold on to the #1 spot for Av3k or take the #1 spot for vengeurR. And we're kicking things off through vengeurR's eyes. He is going to pick up that heavy, and no action quite yet. But again, I would expect that both these players are going to turn it on real fast.
Yeah, normally when you get up to these levels, when they are so evenly matched, it is a little bit cagey to start with, as you both want to see if anyone's going to be doing anything a little bit sneaky, or if there's any traps or any delays that you don't know about. So you just want to take your time, and there already has been a delay, and it has been vengeurR, but he's also been caught in the choke point here, so he needs to back off, but a big shotgun blast will repel Av3k for now, and that delay means vengeurR can also pull back. Wow, what is he doing going in aggressive here? They're going to actually knock him out.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was not going to end well, but all it takes is a single punch, and vengeurR is on the board. 1 frag, but he is very, very low. He was forced to disengage from that, but so was Av3k. He didn't want to give up yet a second frag, but coming into the red room. What? The LG stream was locked on vengeurR, and vengeurR just comes out on top of the huge shotgun blast to the face. Now Av3k, oh man, unfortunately Av3k just not bringing anything home here. And that is the 3rd frag for vengeurR. Dang.
It could quite easily be the 3rd frag for Av3k. It's been an unusual start, to say the least, with some creative Doom play from vengeurR. But it's worked out. He's 3-0 up and in a perfect position to contest this next Mega. He's going in early, and it's actually a little bit too early, Wheat.
Yeah, that one you know, that was just, I think, a mistake there by vengeurR. But when you're up by 3 and you're just feeling it like that, I kind of get it. We do have the heavy up, and we have the turret drop down here by Av3k. He's going to be able to swing in there, grab it. He doesn't come out super stacked from there, but you know, just taking that away. Is still on the hunt and on the chase though. And 1, 2, 3, the 2 rockets somehow bounced him, and the third one absolutely just crushing him mid-air. vengeurR off of the spawn now, going to try to stop Av3k at the mega, but is not going to happen. And suddenly vengeurR has a 2 frag lead instead of the early lead that he had.
Pretty sure vengeurR just double jumped off of Av3k's head right there, but they both hit the rockets they need to hit. vengeurR, they're very low. Might not even be able to get up to this health if Av3k wants to keep the pressure on, expecting to come charging through at some point. He's actually going to play a little bit more conservative, sweep up some of the outside items, use the turret to set up a bit of a fortress around the mega, and vengeurR will respect that defense for now and try to back off and use the information to reposition over by this heavy. And Av3k, we see a little bit of a check in his tempo now. Not going in as quick and as deep as he was for the first few minutes, instead tempering his approach, and as does vengeurR, instead of not full committing, he respects Av3k's stack now.
Oh, wow. Huge rockets coming out there. Av3k's going to get a great frag as the bounces don't really favor vengeurR. And vengeurR off of the spawn is going to get fragged a second time. Suddenly we have ourselves a tie game, and what, you know, looked like a very confident and sort of on vengeurR has, oh my goodness. It kind of got shut down, but then of course we have this melt that happens just outside the red room, and that is going to take a tie game and make it now suddenly a 1 frag lead for vengeurR. vengeurR slowed it down though. I think to your point, you said, you know, kind of respect what's happening here is you've got to respect that turret. You can't just act like it's not doing any damage against you. It's been put down in a couple nice places by Av3k, and we're tied back up 4-4. Now a fight over the heavy, not going to happen though. Av3k with the frag, taking the 1-point lead.
Yeah, it's almost like he's just trying to come to terms with Av3k's damage output. There's just some of these situations where Av3k's been charging in and vengeurR's in the right position, but somehow Av3k's coming away with the frag, and so it's almost got vengeurR second-guessing himself in situations where he probably should be and normally would be going more aggressive, but he's going to have to make sure he always has a presence, because otherwise Av3k will get to that point of critical mass where how do you sustain the pressure from there on out? Seems to be going okay so far, but he's got nothing to work with.
His LG is just, it's scary. It's going to get a horror movie of its own because it is just ripping apart vengeurR in this particular matchup. Great turret toss down there on that mega. Not going to be able to stop his opponent from grabbing it, but a lot of damage just out, essentially negating the mega. And now heading on over to that heavy. LG's out yet again, and vengeurR is going to get the best of that one. Suddenly it is 5-6. Av3k only up by 1. vengeurR somehow living through that, and both players very low.
Still only 6-5. Feels like Av3k's had a lot more control. It's not currently showing in the scoreline. That's a nice frag that actually would give Av3k time to go and set up very early for the heavy. Every time he has done this though, vengeurR's there. Oh, he hasn't got ammo on the rocket, and vengeurR still bounces off.
Oh boy, you're always going to see something new. I swear. Av3k still up by 2 after that frag with the suicide attached to it, and Av3k's going to pick up another one. I mean, his LG has been really the MVP of this matchup.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. vengeurR's definitely having to reassess situations he would quite comfortably take in other matchups, and now this is where it begins to spiral. He does get a little bit of a punch to the back of the head, but still it's not going to count, as there is the heavy, and there's plenty of time to scuttle yourself round towards the mega. This is a big item for vengeurR now, because there's not a lot of time left. 4.5 minutes, or 3.5 minutes should I say. If he lets this go, which he does, it's going to be a long road back.
Yeah, I mean, again, drop down just a little bit too early, and not having a lock on those timings is not helping him out in these battles, and certainly Av3k taking advantage of that. 6-13 now, is suddenly Av3k just really kind of manhandling vengeurR at this point, not giving him any room at all, and always seems to be right on top of him.
Yeah, and he really is one of the best in the world at just being so amazingly efficient with his damage output. Always got the right weapon out and the right situation in the right position, and just force situations that you can't get out of, and he's done that so well. But to say that, we have 3 minutes left, and that is an incredibly clean frag from vengeurR right before the heavy. So he needs to get out cleanly, and then this is where the comeback can start.
And it would have to be right here and gonna kick things off. LG coming out from the middle room, and it followed up with a nice rocket. Now off the spawn, how is vengeurR going to be able to put these together? 5 frags is definitely possible. The shotgun does come out, only a few more cells needed. vengeurR gets another one, 9-13. Suddenly just a little bit of patience, and as you mentioned, that clean frag over by the heavy, it gives vengeurR an opportunity to open things up a little bit, but Av3k, I wouldn't give up on him quite yet. See what's going to happen here at the Mega.
Got to be careful. We set up on the high ground. They are even on stack now. The turret comes down early. Av3k knows the exact timing, what play that was. vengeurR's forced into that LG fight that he doesn't want to take. And Av3k, yes, he comes out low, but again, it's just wasting time in building that scoreline. vengeurR has to chase him, but getting bounced around. Oh dear. It's not what you want to see.
Yeah, just taking away any momentum and really any opportunity to try to bring it back. Those types of hits with the rocket, or just, you know, whether that's a rail or whatever that might be, you're buying yourself time, right? And taking it away from your opponent, which they desperately need to try to bring it back. And Av3k's LG has just been insane. Really just tracking like a champ all over the place. And there's still a minute left. There's another one with the heavy, and a 5 frag lead here. Ouch. Ouch. Oh boy.
I mean, you casted Av3k for many, many, many years. Like, I've always known him as someone that's had great aim and in the right situations, but now he's just bullying vengeurR. I've never seen him have this level of aim before.
I mean, I think it's one of the things that's kind of always set him apart, and especially, you know, you think back to like the Quake 3 days and Quake Live days, like definitely LG was a really big part of that. I mean, also just overall play style as well, but I definitely feel like we're seeing that type of Av3k from the past, and you know, I don't know. I've definitely seen him bully his opponents before. This looks like on a whole nother level, man.
Well, he's coming to the right stage at the right time, looking towards finals in just a few weeks now, so this is about momentum for him. Playing the best Quake he's played in Quake Champions, to be sure.
Very, very true. And as the final seconds of this game one tick away, a final score of what looks to be 17-11 in favor of Av3k. Already wrong on those map choices, but you know, so
sorry, we're both wrong. It's fine.
So be it. Gonna be moving on to Ruins, but yeah, I mean, it started off pretty back and forth, right? Av3k with that early lead. vengeurR kind of brought it back a little bit, but every time Av3k was just able to put a few additional frags together, it seemed like vengeurR lost his footing and then was never quite able to come back. And the turret, you know, kind of playing a big part of that as vengeurR didn't necessarily have an answer. And in some cases, he just fought, you know, knowing that that turret was there. Oh boy! And Av3k takes the map.
Yeah, and as you say, the use of the turret was again on point. Av3k loves Ison. He uses him so effectively. And like that time on the Mega where he stole it away, he put the turret down. He knew exactly how long it was going to take the turret to die, and then just drop on the Mega after it's dead. It was just pinpoint. But not only that, like Doom is so favored here because of the maneuverability, which gives him a position advantage and effectively speed advantage. But it felt like Av3k was the one that was really pushing the tempo in it. vengeurR almost couldn't keep up with that. It's incredible how he can play at the speed he does consistently and put the best players on their back foot.
Yeah, I agree, and I that wasn't the way that vengeurR was trying to play. At the beginning, we saw him come out and play the way that Av3k ultimately closed this matchup, right? Trying to set the pace. Once Av3k sort of got his foothold and control, that he never let go. I think that's really what you're seeing in that score base right there. So vengeurR wanted to play that way from the very beginning. At least that's what it looked like, you know, through his eyes. Av3k sort of shutting him down a little bit, took away, stifled some of that confidence, and then I think he was having a little bit of trouble playing from where Av3k, you know, his own position, right? I thought that game would be a little bit closer. I even thought that vengeurR would take it away, but Av3k really solidifying where he wants to be in this series, and I don't know. What do you think? We're going into Ruins now, Anarchy versus Ranger.
Yeah, I mean, having spoken to vengeurR, because a lot, he has fallen off the favor of Corrupted Keep a little bit and has found a better footing on Ruins, particularly with the Anarchy. So, you know, in terms of that pairing now, it's in a good place for him. I would definitely say he now needs to definitely work around the rail a lot more. One being Anarchy, and two, it just hasn't been working, you know, going mano-a-mano with Av3k. So play around the rail, really try and keep Av3k weakened so he can't set that tempo. If you do that, you're in a much better place. But again, Av3k will be able to play the front foot game he wants to on Ranger. That's what Ranger is best at. It's getting in your face with the rocket jump passive, with the orb. And so again, it really might be tough for vengeurR. Yeah, he's going to have to hit a lot of rails and make sure he plays very well positioning on that high ground.
Yeah, I think a lot of rails. It's going to make a big difference here, and he's going to get spawned down at the heavy. So he's got himself a rail. Now, we've seen vengeurR do this before. Well, he will kind of play this room to try to deny the rail a little bit. So far, that's kind of exactly what he's doing. There's one rail, but unfortunately can't stop him for too long. Inject does come out. He looked like he wanted to chase there, Dan, but then said, you know, actually, I'm not going to do that. Instead, setting himself up to grab this second heavy and maybe even make his way up to Mega, but that's probably not going to happen. Although it is up there, finally picked up, separated by about 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Playing a safer game, doesn't want to give anything over to Av3k at this point. Learned his lesson, so a lot cagier than we saw definitely at the start of the first map. And again, setting up incredibly early, but this is quite risky because he doesn't have a rocket. If Av3k comes charging in, which he doesn't do, it could have been very messy for vengeurR. Fortunately for him, Av3k respects the positioning and decides to control the higher ground up by the Mega, but he's already set up very early. That's so much damage. The orb comes in to reposition. The rockets are good. He should be able to finish vengeurR up here. The question is, how much damage will he take? A fair amount, actually, to be fair, 2 health.
Wow, and Av3k leaves that Mega up, and I assume that's why vengeurR felt safe going through that telly. He just thought, well, if my opponent's picking up the Mega, and he took so much damage on that exit there. Now Av3k in a very interesting spot, once again setting up and just raining down the nails outside of that teleport exit. Right outside, vengeurR there trying to do some damage. Not hitting... You know, well, he's thrown out 2 rails. He's hit 1, so I guess 50% isn't bad, like a coin flip. But there's another one, and you know, Av3k so far playing this one very, very nicely.
Yeah, and he's quite happy actually just to trade major items. Neither one has had one of the other's major items, so it is still quite cagey in that aspect. Although the separation between the two is beginning to grow, so that the next engagement could be fairly big, and vengeurR is actually set up very early. He'll be able to steal this Mega the first time we've seen this. No inject though, so it could be an important in the next engagement as well. Av3k is actually willing to take the rail engagements, understanding the stack of vengeurR. Nice bounce of the rocket, but doesn't connect on the rail. vengeurR does get down to the heavy though, and Av3k is giving this up for free.
Ooh,
wow.
I don't think I mean, this is like the second or third time that Av3k has just sort of positionally been all over vengeurR, and vengeurR was surprised or, you know, ate so much damage as a result of that. And so hats off to Av3k for just his positioning throughout this entire game, and heading down to the heavy now, setting up a little bit early down here, and will be able to get away with it. We do, ooh, nice rocket from the lip, and if I tried to follow up with another one, he does manage to get that heavy and then gets out of there. Nicely done by Av3k. Well played.
vengeur's also using the inject on cooldowns, so really focusing on just building that overstack up. There are times when you could use it, and maybe that was one of them, and Av3k again begins to connect with his rails just before the heavy as well, so but he's got no weaponry, only a rail, so that's why we're seeing him now not taking that low ground route and might instead just to favor hitting an exit damage. Here's the jump pad, so knows exactly what's up. That was close.
That was so very close, and yeah, he's really limited on his arsenal here. And Av3k, you know, he's sitting fine as he knows that the Mega is going to be up here in a moment. Oh, what an orb to kind of escape, and will he be able to follow up with the shotty? Yes, he does. Just, I mean, outplaying vengeurR on a big level, and huge rocket coming out. Will it be able to follow up with the frag? I'm surprised Chase, but he didn't really need to either, right? Knew he could easily take that heavy, probably going to set up and be in a great spot. In fact, might just get the frag right here. Does drop down, takes a lot of LG damage, but gets what he came for. That was the frag. Will also likely be able to be set up and ready to go for Mega.
And outplaying is exactly it. It's fascinating how there's been times where he just hasn't committed items that you might expect him to because he's so confident in his combat skill. This time he will be going down. He tries to steal that bit cheeky, the heavy. Fortunately for vengeurR, he doesn't. This could be a little bit of a window. No weapons to work with from Av3k's point of view. Clean frag just before a major item for vengeurR.
Yeah, if there was ever a moment, this seems to be it right here. Just playing the top, middle. It's kind of what we would expect him to do. Once again, Av3k just dishing out damage when vengeur's not ready for it. And then dropping down, he's going to chase, and
Nice.
risky, but he does manage to get the frag, taking a little bit of LG damage. Heavy is up. He swings over and grabs that. And suddenly the momentum just starting to shift a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
I'm not sure. I like the kind of orb move that Av3k threw out there down at the heavy. I feel like he could escape through the back, but you know, he's definitely playing aggressive, right? So
yeah, you have to stick to that, but that was absolutely perfect from vengeurR just before the major items once again, but he's also got the inject up. This time he is saving it, so that signals to me he's looking for a fight now. He wants to go. He's got the full stack. He's just trying to find his opponent. I think he hears him, or at least sees that pickup, so he knows roughly where he is, and he's going to chase him down through a choke point. Doesn't connect. Ooh. Big rail, though. He knows vengeurR, knows Av3k will probably just be playing the TP game.
Oh my god, dude.
He also heard the spawn. He knows where he is. He's found him. This could be tying him up. But he does back off. No, as I say that, he goes back up. Still plenty of time before the Mega, so here we go again. Round 2 for vengeurR, chasing him through. Av3k on the run. Once again, going to camp out this choke point. He wants to take a fight. Shotgun comes out. That's been successful so far, but there's a rail to the head.
Who is this kid? This is insane. That kill out of the teleporter, and now just following up, standing his ground, going to grab the Mega and chase yet again. The heavy is going to be back up, lands a couple of hits with that LG, and then back down at the bottom. Has no armor himself right now, but we got ourselves a tie game, and vengeurR decided that he wanted to be in the driver's seat for this one. It took him a little while, but he is here, Dan. And we've seen some sick frags from vengeurR to tie this one up. Av3k, I obviously would not count him out yet, but the momentum is swinging for vengeur's side for sure.
Yeah, I've been a little bit surprised, particularly through the mid game, how I don't want to say passive, because I don't think it was passive, but how reluctant Av3k was to go and commit for items. He felt like he gave quite a few for free that could have been his if he wanted to impose his authority. And now it's at a point where that's coming back to haunt him, as vengeur's got free reign of all the items. He's got a perfect rotation going on. So Av3k really needs to take a bit of a risk here to stand with authority. Got a little bit of a trap going on in that T-bone junction. Having been spotted out though, he does set a retreat, but now vengeur's beginning to connect with these rails that we said were so important. Well, that was greedy.
Oh my gosh, and to go through,
So greedy.
Why would it was so greedy going through. Perfect rocket hit with the rail. Av3k now taking the lead. vengeurR off to spawn. He is going to grab that heavy, and that might have been enough to at least tie it back up, but neither player really fighting from a position of advantage now. We're just tied back up. I don't think we're going to know how this is going to go. I mean, Av3k did pick up that heavy, or excuse me, that mega, but that rail, he is very, very low, goes down below the LG room.
Oh, man.
Just insane.
That's why gluttony is one of the 7 sins we... Oh,
hey,
no!
You gotta want it. Whew.
As I said, they begin to connect, so they begin to whiff as the trades are not beginning to favor him. Now Av3k is slowly getting back into this game. He obviously picked up that mega. There's a long time before the heavy, so I expect Av3k to make a move here. You see him actually checking the corners as he goes in, but vengeurR is nowhere to be found. He's already scuttled himself away. He's got the weapons to work with, so we're going to try and do some exit damage. Not connecting once again, and this is coming back to haunt him. 8 seconds before the mega. Av3k does have timing because he picked it up, so one would expect him to be in and around the vicinity.
Yeah, I think you know, it's a tough call right now, but do you just start playing for the overtime? You know your opponent has the major items. You don't really have the stack to take a fight. It's a scary kind of moment here as we're going to have heavy backup. And again, vengeurR avoiding all the major traffic areas and unfortunately having to yield all those major items to him. He's got 30 seconds, and that means that Av3k's got 30 seconds to potentially use that stack. Great rail by vengeurR, going to stop Av3k short from being super aggressive. An advancement here, and now he's going to try to steal away this mega in a great position to do it, and does it. 10 seconds until sudden death.
Yeah, they both know what's up. Another clear strategy shift in this game has been vengeurR. He went from using his inject on cooldown to using it just in combat, and that's actually paid a lot of dividends as it's got him some frags and also got him out alive. So have liked that recognition. You see him wanting to set up this next mega. He knows how important it is. Av3k's got full stack now. If he gets this mega, it's a long road back. He's going in aggressive. Oh no, he's got to go down here, and he does.
Wow. Wow. Super. I mean, we think about that as the last moment, as you said. vengeurR trying to set up for that mega. Av3k just saying, well, listen, if I move into this room and I think I have the better stack, what options does vengeurR have, right? I cut him off from the hallway. I see the megas up now. I can just retreat back in there. That was a great kind of squeeze there at the end by Av3k. I think that was absolutely the right thing to do, and I think even vengeurR a little surprised by that as he fell down. He knew he didn't really have too many options there. So it just so well played by both players. I mean, Av3k, congratulations definitely on the win and what is the series win. He will hold on to that #1 spot, but what was looking like a very great mounting comeback here, and it never made it to that sudden death. I guess it did.
I mean, it did.
Not too far in, yeah.
Yeah, like vengeurR had that in his grasp. He was playing so well through the mid game. I said it in the match. I thought Av3k took the foot off the pedal a little bit too early, but then there was that just moment of, I'm going to say, inexperience almost, where he just got a little bit greedy, hit the initial rail on Av3k by the TP, tried to follow up with another rail, but then was going aggressive. As soon as you miss that, you're on the back foot, and then he went through the TP to his death, and then that gave Av3k so much momentum back into the game. And even that last point there, sure, you might not expect Av3k to come busting through that doorway, but again, you're a fragile anarchy with less of a stack, and if Av3k comes through, you're kind of dead, and you should have just backed off and allowed him to get that mega and tried to reset. So a little bit too greedy from vengeurR, cost him in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that had to have been somewhat of a frustrating matchup. You think about the couple of times where Av3k was just spamming nail gun around the exit of that teleporter. vengeurR did get his revenge with that beautiful rocket rail out of the teleporter, but those were early frags for Av3k that really kind of let him take control, start grabbing those major items, and then vengeurR constantly having to kind of claw his way back. So moving on now to Exile, and although we have Av3k with the series win, vengeurR needs to try to grab the map. I would be still pretty surprised. I mean, close games, at least close second game. That first game, Av3k kind of ran away with, but I don't know. What do you think here? A lot different map than what we've seen.
I mean, Av3k's picked a Keel, so he clearly has a plan with it, and it's obviously a strong champion. I think that I would favor Strog slightly on this map. I feel the mid ground on the high ground, you can get quite exposed. There are some... It's quite easy to force lightning gun fights one-on-one, which is not something Keel wants to do. And so if if vengeurR can get ahead of steam, get some momentum, and really work around Keel's bigger stack, particularly capitalize on that mid-ground exposure, then I think he's in for a good shot.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, the grenades, it's so easy to just say, oh, man, the grenades are just like, they're so good here. But there's also, you know, you're almost constantly on the move here, and there's not as many, you know, there's not as many sort of confined areas where the grenades are going to make a huge difference. But where they become real nasty is, you know, off the spawn. You can't really chase frags if you're vengeurR. At least I don't feel like you can. We'll have to see. So it'll be interesting. I know that Av3k has been picking Keel when he can. He picked it versus you know, Cooler and Ruins, and so I'm excited to see. But I also don't expect that we'll have the same level of frag scores that we've gotten in our last 2 games.
No. As I say that, here comes that one-on-one gunfight I was hoping for, but Av3k's too strong, and the stack isn't just there for vengeurR. Going to have a conversion as well, more than likely, although the vengeurR does say no, puts up a pretty good fight, and even have it to the point where it could be going down. So, not a bad follow-up. Actually, a very good follow-up from vengeurR in the end.
All things considered, considering that like one of those landed grenades would have just added a second frag to Av3k's score, but vengeurR maybe a little bit too aggressive there, as a perfectly placed rocket to take the second frag. Nice job, Av3k.
I think that was a grenade rocket combo. It was so much damage. I mean, these are the fights I mean. You can just get so bullied as a Keel if vengeurR has a stack.
Yep. 3-1 now. We've got Heavy popping up here in just a moment. I would imagine vengeurR is not super happy with these, you know, results either. Just, you know, he's been doing so well the last few weeks, and yes, Av3k is the #1 spot, but that's the time to prove yourself, right, Dan? I mean, especially as you're going into the final weeks here. Another LG battle, and this time, vengeurR does come out on top, making that lead now just 1 for Av3k, but he desperately needed that.
Oh. Sneaky trap coming out from Keel, the big man hiding out. He's also going to keep pushing here. Well, that could be a little bit dangerous. He is going to maybe get the frag, but at what cost? He's sustained a lot of damage. vengeurR does get away for now, but he still can't find any health. Armor won't save you with only 11 health, so he needs to get some from somewhere, and in doing so, he's definitely giving up the Mega, and is more than likely going to have to retreat from the Heavy just because he's got absolutely nothing to work with.
Yeah, it's rough to watch there. Nice rocket, but from down below, Av3k definitely has the stack. If he wanted to go up here, he probably could. He just bullies his way into that Heavy, and that's really all he needs to do. Nice rails. That's exactly what vengeurR needs to try to bring in. One more rails needed. There it is. So, I mean, both players kind of playing right, but neither gaining an upper hand.
Yeah, but there's some crucial miss rails. Can't afford to miss easier damage against an opponent like Av3k, particularly just before a major item. This is why Av3k can make such an easy push here. The damage from vengeurR from the low ground is huge, but that rocket is a shutdown moment. vengeurR very much licking his wounds before the Mega. They're both pretty weak, but they're both going to put up a fight because they know they're each other. Oh, really on the ropes here.
Wow. Oh, wow. I'm really surprised that there's a peek there by Av3k. That's going to give vengeurR the lead. Easy LG kill from down below. Only need a little bit. Grenades now coming out. I don't know if Av3k thinks vengeurR might be lower than he actually is, but oh my gosh, and another rail. Both players incredibly low. Heavy picked up by Av3k. Oh no. Oh,
no.
I didn't know pineapples had that much bounce, but vengeurR just found out he does manage to pull it back, still holding on to his lead by 1. Dang.
It's just so back and forth because every time vengeurR gets a kill, it's never really that clean, and Av3k just runs in face first with this huge starting stack and pineapples to boot. So you don't even need a weapon. You have a shotgun and some pineapples. Look at him. That's all he's got, but that's all he needs.
That's exactly what, you know, I was talking about in terms of like where Keel's power really comes out here is that, and we've seen like vengeurR has wanted to kind of go aggressive in those moments where it could, and a few times he skirted around those pineapples, was able to make it work, but you know, that time it didn't quite happen for him. So 6-6 now, as we see Av3k pick up another frag, kind of consistently staying in the lead. But as you mentioned, back and forth, we haven't really been separated by more than 2 since the early moments of this game. We still got halfway to go in this matchup.
Exactly, and it's so incredibly close. But the challenge is, and this is what we pointed out at the start, is that Av3k plays Keel faster than virtually anyone else I see. Only Rafa has ever matched this kind of tempo. So it even catches you off guard. And look, he's already there. He's already chasing you. And wow, he did a lot of damage, but he did get the frag from vengeur's point of view, gets the health bar as well, but Av3k's back. Here he comes.
And that's the part that's got to be so frustrating. And this is where vengeur's got to be careful. Like, yes, he's like, I know he's almost dead, but to go aggressive and to lose that frag, he had the 1-point lead. Now he's down by 1 again. And unfortunately, he's going to find himself in a position where, you know, he's not going to be able to take him out. It's a clean frag for Av3k if he's not careful. Understand why he's choosing to be aggressive there, but just not an optimal situation for him, Dan, considering that he's playing against the Keel.
Absolutely, and the fact is they're trading items consistently as well, so vengeurR can't even get ahead of steam with any sort of stack. The pineapple as well, just being a nuisance more than anything for Av3k. And vengeur's trying his darndest to keep him at bay, to resist this pressure, but Av3k, he just doesn't care. He knew vengeurR was there, but he's got the stack, he's got the confidence to go up, and he might even get the frag because of it.
Oh, those defensive grenades coming out, and I wouldn't want to chase that either. Both players pretty low. vengeur's the first to kind of recover from that one. Av3k's still up by 1, and we're getting down to the 3 minutes left in this matchup.
And this is the way we thought it was going to go. I mean, neither player has virtually used any weaponry outside of a lightning gun. It's been just full-on one-on-one lightning gun fights from start to finish.
Oh, narrowly dodging those grenades, and I'm okay with that. I mean, especially when you got 2 phenomenal lightning guns to watch here.
Yeah, would say that there is situations where vengeurR might try to be a bit more pineapple again.
And he's just doing this dance. He's like so
he knows
fraggable.
There's a shotgun waiting for him.
Oh.
Yeah. But now that's a good frag. He should be able to get both major items, so this could be a turning point for vengeurR. The first time in the game that he would do so. Rail comes out from Av3k. He can't actually contest this.
No, nicely done, grabbing that.
Oh, of course.
The rails are hitting when Av3k needs them to, though. 2 minutes left, Dan. Tied 9-9. Critical moment. I definitely feel like this is vengeur's uphill battle here.
Oh.
Nice steal.
Oh no. You better run, vengeurR. There is Av3k coming for you.
Oh, he found him. Shotgun, no rail there. Wow, the LG doing a ton of damage, and there's still a lot of time left to go, but Mega going to Av3k. Let's see, vengeurR.
I think it's just a matter of time now. vengeur's going to have to hit some of those miracle rockets that he's known for. Just look at the stampeding Keel around the map right now.
Yeah. And with this 1 minute warning popping up, again, finding himself in sort of another spot in terms of, okay, how do I play this one out? Do I hyper focus on the items? And if we fight, we fight. Right now, Av3k with the better stack.
I mean, the chance of going for the items is pretty much vanished now. He's going to try and do a little bit of stam, but it's going to cost him his life. 30 seconds to go. He couldn't even do that, if I'm honest. He just had to hide. The stack from Keel was too big at that point. He didn't even need the heavy. It was just bait. And vengeur's going to have a miracle 20 seconds now.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Watching from Av3k's point of view, lands a rail, not going to make vengeur's job any easier. He knows he's got to go after an easy stream of LG. He set himself up in a perfect spot, Dan. There was really no way that vengeurR was going to have a clear attack on him, and he easily clinches the final frag for the game, 11-9, and we saw that 3-0, and we talked about it, that these games were pretty close, right? That was a tough one for vengeurR. If you rewind to and actually let's bring 40 back. I don't want to steal his thunder, like let's bring 40 back. What's up, buddy?
First things first, I was wrong. I was adamant that it wouldn't go 3-0, and Av3k was just like, forget that, 40. And there were really close games. I mean, that Ruins game in sudden death, even though it was like 15 seconds in, Av3k with the perfect push, pushes vengeurR down below to the heavy machine gun, takes the frag. Just what a display by Av3k, especially map number 1. That was pure dominance.
Yeah, I think I was just surprised at how dominant it was. Av3k really looks like he's playing on another level. Like, mechanically, he's using champions that no one else is picking and just making them look overpowered. Like that Keel pick, vengeurR was on the back foot start to finish. No one really picks Ison on Ruins, and Av3k again, or was it Corrupted Keeper, and Av3k made him look incredibly strong. It's just, I felt he was a little bit, vengeurR kind of almost threw away the second map, but Av3k did a great job to build a lead and then stay in the game, whereas maps 1 and 3 was just pure domination.
Yeah, I mean, big shouts to vengeurR for making map number 2 so close. He did claw his way back down 4, made it interesting, but he just couldn't push himself over the edge to take a map from Av3k. And Av3k with a 3-0, firmly keeping that first seed in hand. It's just, you gotta start wondering, is this even the final form of Av3k? Like, is he playing his best Quake? I'm gonna ask him that if we can get a chat with him and see where he feels about his play. Because I'm sure as a competitor, you're always gonna say, I could always do better, but this is pretty outstanding displays that we've seen from Av3k.
Completely agree. We've seen this momentum really grow and grow and grow week over week in stage 2, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's hit a peak, but at the number 1 spot, 6-1 now in series, and that will put him 16-5 for map wins. He's looking good.
Well, let's get him in here. Av3k, congratulations on that huge series victory.
Thanks.
How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I think nothing else to say, actually. It feels good.
Well, on that note, I want to ask, and I was just talking about this, do you feel like you're playing your best Quake as we get closer and closer to the Stage 2 finals? I know that as a competitive player, you always want to improve. There's always little things you can kind of fix, but on the whole, do you feel like this is your final form, or do you still have another level that you haven't even shown us yet?
I think I'm playing like quite good ABC game. Like, I wanted to say good, but like, as you've seen on Ruins, like my ABC is like, it doesn't even exist, because I basically gave up the map and full control. I couldn't focus on timings and things like this. I was like in full surviving mode. I was like, I need to survive this without even like being able to time, because I was timing items and then the times were disappearing in my head, and I was like, what I'm gonna do now, right? So I was like full like survival mode, and it worked out somehow on my mechanics. What I'm really happy with is like my mechanics. They are like on a level which I want them to be, and maybe slightly I can improve them, but in general I think my mechanics are good, and this is my base of the game.
That's really interesting. DJ Wheat described you as a Blastoise Pokemon. Do you agree with that assessment? And if not, what Pokemon would you be?
Can you repeat which one?
Blastoise, the big turtle.
Jesus, I don't know even which one it is. But I will tell you the story. Like, when I was going to elementary school, we had all these like little like Pokemons and shit, and we were playing with these little things. And if you won the game against other guy, you were taking his Pokemon. And I really loved the Charmander. I think Charmander was like my perfect one.
You're a Charmander, cool.
Yeah. But the best is to be Ash, right?
So you collect them all.
You have them all in your pocket.
That's true. Av3k, as we do by the way, Dan, thanks for the no context question towards Avik. As we get into the finals, I love last week you talked about, right, Quake is a hard game. As such, we've got some phenomenal talent that has certainly improved, right, in season 2 quite a bit. As you go into the finals, is there anything that's changing as we come into these final weeks, right? I really like kind of your attitude towards the game. It's like take everything as you've got to do, like understand where your mistakes are, but like fundamentally, I'm playing one of the hardest games there is to play. So, right, how do you keep this momentum in the final weeks and then carry it into the finals? Because I think we could agree, like, you probably want to put forth as best a result as you can, and we haven't actually seen that previously.
I think you cannot really focus on that and think about it. What you need to do is, like, I remember my first tournaments, and there was a lot of people back then who had problem on LAN tournaments with being nervous and things about different kind of things, like one guy was really good, for example, in practice game, and he really cared what people gonna say if he's gonna lose on tournament or on LAN, right? Another guy was just like stressing out and things like this. Another guy was like already getting old, and he really needed the money from tournament. So back then I remember I was going to one of the very first LAN tournaments, and I was going with some in a bus with some CS pros back then, and one guy who played for NIP, I think back then, or something, he was already like leaving the scene. He told me that the most important thing on tournament is to don't focus on anything else except you playing your best at the moment. So I'm not really gonna think if I can carry my shape, if my shape gonna be the same, if I'm gonna play worse. What I'm gonna try to do is, at the moment when I'm gonna play, I will try to give my best. Doesn't matter what's happening. And I think this is what is separating Rafa from the many other players. He's like, doesn't matter what is going on, if the server is good, if the server is bad, if he has a bad day, if he has a headache, he for sure will give 100%. And I think that's the only right attitude in such game as Quake, which I mentioned like before, that is very hard, and you cannot take things for granted. Like even Rafa, after winning so many events, he doesn't take it for granted. I've watched his stream like a few days ago, and people keep asking him like, why do you even practice? You're beating everyone, right? And he's like, it's not that easy. I'm like working hard to beat everyone, right? I need to do my best, because if I'm gonna slack a little bit, then as you can see, the level is very high. People need to understand, if Rafa is not giving like 100%, there will be someone who's gonna take him down anyway. So you cannot take things for granted in Quake. And what I learned 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, was like next month on 1st April, I'm gonna turn 30 years old. So it's my last year of 20s. What I learned after 15 years is that you always need to give 100% and don't focus on anything else. Don't focus on money, on like what people say. Don't give a fuck about it, literally, and just like focus about like showing the best your version you can be.
Somebody
Wise words.
Lesson. Yeah,
clip it and
that's a
ship
life
it,
lesson.
because those are wise words. And Avik, here's to another 15 years of fragging. It's always a pleasure to watch
I
you
really
play.
I hope that Quake still is alive for another 15 years, and we have like chance to watch the best players playing, and you guys can like also watch us and cast, and we can enjoy your VODs after our games, because it's like, we're rewatching our games, and for us it's also nice to hear some good casting. And by the way, I'm gonna do another podcast soon, I guess, with Endpoint. So I really hope to have one of you guys. I already spoke with ZSX, but it will be cool to have someone from like NA scene as well. So 40, I know I'm not even asking you. You are a busy man, and you probably have a lot of things to do with your family.
It's okay, because I'm hanging up the casting hat now. I'm coming after you, Avik. I'm going full play. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Grudge match. Wheat versus Avik.
Good
Let's do
luck.
a best of 7.
Yep.
Avik, thanks again. Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Always
Thank
a
you,
treat
guys.
to
Thank
talk
you.
to you and watch you play. Thank you. And congrats. Can't wait to see more of you as we get closer to the Stage 2 finals.
Yep. See you.
Nice,
Peace,
Avik.
man.
See you later.
Well, boys, I mean, wise words. Very, very wise words. Focus on you, do the best that you can, and
Yep.
don't give a fuck about what anything else is going on or doing or saying about you. So I couldn't have said it better myself. But it's that time of the day where we are going to have to skedaddle. But first, Dan, any closing words?
Av3k can have my job. He's far more eloquent than I could ever be. It's and I'm a much better player. So it was a really good day. It was a long day again to get back to 7 games, but it's we're getting towards that time where it's the stage finals, and love to see people like Av3k getting back into shape, and everyone seems to be stepping their game up. So looking really good once again.
Yeah, I
Completely
agree. I'm really excited for the upcoming stage. I mean, we still have some great weeks left, a lot of really important matches that are coming up, but I mean, I loved the last stage finals. It was great. We saw some amazing games. That finals was sick, and I'm just really hyped for what we're going to potentially get out of here. I think it is going to be, from the challengers that are coming in, like it's just setting up to be pretty awesome. So I know we have some weeks to close out here, and I'll be here for all of them, but I'm very, very excited for the conclusion to the stage. It's going to be pretty brutal, I think.
Yeah, definitely exciting times. 4 more weeks until the Stage 2 finals. And again, big shouts to the challengers on the America side, Sib and Chance, and the challengers on the EU side, Hell and Buckster. We will see them in the Stage 2 finals and relegation. It's just a matter of who might get relegated. But stay tuned for the next 4 weeks to find out as the seeds solidify. And as always, big shouts to you guys. It's always a pleasure to share the broadcast booth with you.
Same.
Big shouts to the players.
Nice, guys.
Highly competitive, and you love to see the passion, you love to see the frags every week, and big shouts to the crowd. Thank you for all the pastas, all the support, all the love, all the hate, and shouts to Bethesda and PGL for doing this. Again, in these weird world of times, it's a blessing that we get Quake every weekend, so thank you from everybody here. We will see you next week. Be safe, have a great week, and play more Quake.